Hey, Whiskey Taste Buds, Adam here with another whiskey review. This time we're gonna do something a little bit different. Um, as you can see, I got over here two different Bunnahabhain 12-year-olds. One is the official bottling from Bunnahabhain Distillery. Sorry, just figuring up my camera there. Actually, I got these mixed up here. And the other is a Douglas Lang Old Malt Cask Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. So the difference between the two is, well, you can see right away in the glass. Just gonna pour a little bit more on this one. I've been nipping at this one already. You can see the difference in the glass. That's the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old from the distillery. And that is the Douglas Lang. So right away you can tell there's quite a difference. The first difference that I would probably say is the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old is a combination of ex-bourbon and sherry casks. Whereas the Old Malt Cask Bunnahabhain 12 is a single cask. There was only 331 bottles. It was distilled in 1996 and bottled in 2008. It was also bottled at 50% ABV, where the Bunna 12, this one here, was bottled at 46.3% ABV. The cool thing about Bunna, that really makes it one of my favorite whiskeys, is they're all non-chill filtered, and they all have no color added. So even this one here, you see here, that beautiful color there. That's all from the cask. Okay, so this one says, what does it say? From a refill hogshead. So I'm going to say this one's all ex-bourbon. And what they mean by hogshead is they take an ex-bourbon barrel from a distillery in the States that made bourbon, and they deconstruct the cask, and they ship it over to Scotland, where the coopers put it together. But when they put it back together, they add more staves to make it a larger cask. Typical ex-bourbon barrel, you probably only get 250 to maybe 300 bottles, 750ml bottles if you're lucky. Whereas a hogshead, you'll get, well, like I said, this one was 331 bottles. So a little bit bigger barrels, but you can tell just by the color itself that that's probably most definitely just ex-bourbon. So now we're gonna taste them and compare them. Although, like I said, because of the sherry influence on this one, I don't think they're gonna be very similar. Yeah, so there's some beautiful sherry notes in there. Very fruity. And like a dry, like allspice almost. Dried fruits, like a dried apricot. And there's a little smoke in there as well. I think this is considered like their Bunnahabhain's core range age statement whiskeys are considered non-peated, but I think this one has a light peat level to it. This one's been in the glass for quite a while, but I have my little hat on it. And I'm even getting some like orange peel in there as well. raisins. Beautiful nose. Okay. So that's the manufacturer's expression of Bunnahabhain 12. Now we're going to try Douglas Lang's single cask. Okay, so this one's not as... I'm not getting any smoke on this one. Getting still light and fruity. Some pear notes in there maybe. Getting a bit of caramel and vanilla. Definitely more bourbon-esque, if you will. Bit of oak on the nose as well. Like, but it's more like a lighter, like, I don't know, like a driftwood, I guess, driftwood nose. And when I say driftwood, I think because there's something coastal about it. Both wonderful noses, but very different. In a way, I guess you could almost say this one is a deconstruction, or part deconstruction of this one. Because what they would have done at the distillery when making this one is they would have selected casks like this, and then some sherry casks, and blended them together to make this. Let's go palate. Hits all the same notes on the palate as it does on the nose. A lot of beautiful dried fruits, spices, baking spices. I'm getting even more of that coastal in this one, and there's that sort of light smoke kind of at the back, just kind of lingering in behind all the other flavors. It's quite nice. I think Bunnahabhain's done an amazing job on what they consider their entry-level whiskey, offering it at like this high-level quality, non-chill filtered, no color added, and still very affordable. Could very easily be my daily drinker. Especially this day and age when I'm on employment insurance right now and have to watch the money I spend. Finish on that one is not super long, but it does linger. And it's kind of a mix of sweet smoke and there's actually a bit of spice in the finish, I feel. Like I don't want to say peppery spice, but something like that. All right, I'm gonna have some water. Yeah, again, the palate echoes the nose on this one as well, which is a sign of a good whiskey, in my opinion. If you get a whiskey, when you're nosing it, you get certain notes. You kind of anticipate, or your mind kind of hopes that the flavor is going to be the same, and that's not always the case. Sometimes you'll taste a whiskey and it'll be completely different than what the nose was. So this one is wonderful. It's got those light orchard fruit flavors, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel in there. Yeah, lovely dram. Again, there's that sort of seaside coastal salinity, almost like an old dock covered in salt water. If you went and licked one of the deck boards or something. Um, Getting a bit of a citrusy zest in there too. Um, I want to say orange, but maybe like a orange that's been sitting out and drying. The sugars start to come out a bit. Finish on that one again is sort of medium. It's not super long, but yeah, it's lovely dram. This is why I think with this recording I wanted to sort of bring to attention the independent bottlings. Don't write them off when you see them on the shelf, especially single cask ones and stuff like that. It's really a fun and opportunity to explore unique whiskeys. And just because you've tried a Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, don't write off an independent bottling version of the same whiskey, because you might find you're surprised and you get a truly different, completely unique experience. And highly recommend checking out all kinds of independent bottlings of whiskeys from different distilleries. Anyway, until next time, stay safe, everybody, and hope everyone's weathering this storm and not too worse off. I can't wait to get back to regular scheduled programming. But until then, I raise a glass. Cilantro.